Hello gents, how do we do? I'm just going to do a little bit of show and tell really. I just wanted to show you I've made some strops. So it took me a while, more sort of getting to do it more than anything. But anyway, I've done them now. So I'm going to call these Sustainashave Forever Strops. They're not groundbreaking, they're just strops. They're made from the best materials I can find. I've gone through 3 different suppliers of well, let's call it the fabric side, and this is about the best I could find basically. It's a pure cotton. It's got quite a coarse-ish sort of feel to it, but I've been testing it out on the strop for, well, over a month now, and it gets lovely. And the leather is just a Birdle leather. It's some of the best of the UK can produce. It's from a company not far from me actually. It's one that I've used for many a year, and it's generally just good leather. So yeah, I thought I'd stick with them basically. I will be buying some specialist kind of leathers at some point. I've been in contact with a company down south, and they're one of the last remaining kind of oak tanneries, well, in the world really, but for sure in the UK. And it's quite expensive leather, so I don't know if I'll be able to get some this year, but I want to be able to offer a really nice premium leather. And I did look into importing some horse leather like I've discussed before on video, but the costs are just wild, and it's just frankly it's quite mad. So for instance, the leather's not too dear, like it is dear, but it is a premium product, so you kind of expect to pay the price that I got quoted. But the delivery was like $90 or $100, and it's like I'm not paying $100 because I know it don't cost that much to send, because I send things all over the world, and I know for a fact if I had it in hand and I was sending it back to America, it would be no more than £25 basically, which is sort of $33, $34, $35, $36. So I'm just not up for spending that amount of money. It just feels a bit like robbery. So the reason I'm going to call these Forever Strops, Sustainashave Forever Strops. You see I've got my stamp sorted now as well. It took a few weeks, but it's come out lovely. I had that one before anyway, when I was doing some leather craft stuff I was doing years ago. Still had moustache then, you see. So yeah, I'm going to call them Forever Strops, and this one, I'll just move these ones out of the way a bit. This one is my basically my most basic strop. So this is no frills. This is effectively as cheap as I can make a strop. It really is. But it's the same materials as all of them. So it's just going to come like this, nice and raw. You know, you can put your own fixing on it. If you want me to add a piece of paracord, just ask, like, and you know, obviously I will. So you can sort your own fixing out. It just keeps costs down, so you can, you know, somebody was actually saying to me the other day, they got a strop and they were kind of like, oh, I've got nowhere to fit it to. Well, everybody has, because it's called a door handle, and it is one of the ones years ago they actually used to strap them to the doors, like, and it's near the perfect height as well, where if you like doing it low, which sort of waist height kind of thing, which I think is favoured by most of us who are quite experienced with straights and whatnot. And the reason I'm going to call it Forever Strop is because even if you're a newbie, even if you're just new to stropping and everything, you're quite prone to wreck your first strop. Because like nicks and whatnot, you know, mistakes happen. I even now do still mistakes on the strop every now and then. And well, the reason it's called Forever Strop is because you can just replace everything on it. You know, you can undo these bolts here. You know, you wreck your linen side, well, your fabric side, you just undo them, put a new one in, same with the leather. So it's a forever strop. Even if one part of it don't last forever, you can just replace it. You know, via me, via anybody, via eBay, you know, if you're not in my country or whatever. So that's the basic one. That's like as basic as I can make it. No sewing, just good materials, So then you've got my posh one. I don't know, I'll call it the premium one, I guess. This is still in the prototype stage, this is. So this isn't like the finished product. I've got to cut my tabs that fold around a little bit smaller. They're sticking out a little tiny bit. It's not too bad, like, but I can tell so. And I'll be making that a little bit shorter as well, because it don't need to be that long. You don't know until you build it for the first time. And this part is in prototype stage 3 anyway, or was it 4? So that took 4 goes to get it to that point, but it's going to go prototype 5, because like I said, the tabs just needed that little tiny bit more. It's a bit saggy for me. And so it's a premium because it's got this lovely buckle. These are not handmade. These are made in the UK. They are made of the finest brass available by one of the oldest companies in, well, I guess left in the world really. But they're one of the last remaining foundries in the UK, and they make everything just top notch basically. You know, sometimes it's not the prettiest, but the quality in terms of how solid it is absolutely top notch. Because, well, basically they make stuff for the horse industry, equestrian industry, and they're one of the main suppliers of all of the kind of like the horse buckles and all that jazz. And I forget the name of this buckle now actually. Let me try and think. I think it's kind of like a scissor clip or anything. I'll put it in the description. But it's pretty good because lo and behold, you get it on there and it don't matter how hard you pull that, it ain't never coming off, because that's the whole idea. But it releases lovely. It's got a lovely spring on it. So yeah, that's kind of like the reason why this one's premium. And because it's premium, I'll also just add this little tab down here. It does help hold them, and then obviously it won't fray at all, or if it did fray, it'll catch it kind of thing. And that's the reverse side with my stitching. You know, because these are handmade as well, like if you just wanted the buckle but you didn't want the stitching, you can get the cost down. You know, I don't want to make loads of different strops and put them out there, but at the end of the day, because they're handmade, you can have whatever you want. We can adjust the price, whatever. But basic, no, not basic, come over there. Basic over there, premium, and then we've got this last one. So I've kind of made this one for me, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I might as well just put it out there for sale as well. And I'm going to call this the Barbers Strop. And I don't want any barbers messaging me saying, well, we don't bloody use this, because, well, you might not, it's as simple as that. But the reason I'm going to call this the Barbers Strop is because over the years I've had lots of razors come in that have had convex edges. You know, and a lot I've said in other videos, I've bought actual barbers lots that I've had like 10, 15 razors with all their stones, and I've bought like 2, 3 of them lots over the years. But yeah, a lot of the razors that I've had that I've known that have come from old barbers, they've had convex, like, you know, they ain't had straight bevels with an apex. They've had convex, beautiful curves, and that's from stropping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 micron, half micron, and 1/4 micron. Obviously, if you add your own, you can do whatever you want. And I'm just going to run some experiments, and I'm going to have a play with loaded, pasted strops, whatever you want to call it. You know, so like for instance, I'll be using this a little bit off the stones, just to not on all my razors, but on some razors. And then when my razors start tugging, I'll be going to this. You know, and first off, I might go to the 0.25 or the 0.50. But then I've always got the option of going for the 1 micron, which is actually quite coarse for a diamond grit, from my understanding and from my reading. You know, it's dressed up in the basic kind of setup, but if you wanted the nice scissor claw clip, oh, I'll have to find out because I can't remember. You know, and if you wanted me to add tabs on the end, it's no problem, because like I said, everything is handmade, so we can do whatever we want. Alright, well, that's all I really wanted to say for this little video. I think they come out lovely. And the leather's really nice that I've been using on them ones, because I made my own, like, well, some of you know, I bought a strop, it's actually from America. I've got the old style, American style I call it, clip with a little brass screw and everything. Oh, I messed up the bloody leather side. Well, I didn't actually so mess it up, but anyway, once I'd done the conditioning and tried to fix it, bring it back to life, actually it had cracks in it. So I kind of had to get rid of it, and then I put that leather on it, and I've been using that now for 2-3 months. I forget now, but I've run hundreds of razors over it now, and it's really good leather. Yeah, so that's it. We'll see. I just wanted to make something because I get asked if I make strops and everything, and it's the one thing I ain't really made, even though I'm a bloody secret leather, well, not secret leather crafter, but one of my hobbies is leather craft. But it's just time, do you know what I mean? I can only do so much with so much time that I've got free. But anyway, I think they've turned out quite nice. I'm quite excited to use this Barbers strop light, get running a few experiments on that. Right, I love you and leave you lads. Have a good day. I'll see you again. Toodaloo.